Devin Hester, you are ridiculous.
The Bears are who we thought they were. And that's why we took the damn field. Now, if you want to crown them, then crown their ass. But they are who we thought they were. And we let them off the hook.
Shut up. See that? That's your IQ, buddy. 0.
Hungry Chicago, finally champions on this January day in New Orleans.
This is the Barely Qualified Podcast with your hosts, Nick Labris, Jason Maxwell, and Drew Bailey.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Barely Qualified. I'm Nick Labris, and joining me as always are Jason Maxwell and Drew Bailey. We're here to break down all things Bears, take a look around the NFL, and as always, have some good times with some great people. Well, our Bears look completely different in Week 3 than they have in the previous 2 weeks, as they kind of dominated the Cowboys 31-14 in a win. But we'll get to the breakdown of Week 3 after a quick word from our friends over at Glen Rock Pop. Barely Qualified is proudly fueled by the fizz of Glen Rock Pop, Lake County's legendary soda revival. Crafted with pure cane sugar poured into glass bottles and bursting with nostalgic flavor, Glen Rock is more than a drink, it's a hometown icon. Whether you're sipping on orange, cream soda, or my personal MVP, the all-new lime, Glen Rock is bringing the joy back to every corner of Lake County. Want to catch their pop-up trailer in action? Follow Glen Rock Pop on Facebook for the latest event stops. Ready to stock up? Head to glenrockpop.com to find retailers near you. From tailgates to game days, Glen Rock Pop is the ultimate sideline sip. Don't just drink, celebrate. All right, boys. I think we're finally excited to talk some Bears. You guys ready to talk some Bears?
Oh.
Yeah. Boy, this is, on our show on Thursday, we were all kind of, they could stay in this game. It's good if they're going to stay in. It's going to be a shootout game. The Bears defense actually came to play on Sunday. And the offense did too. The whole team, they were fired up. They came to play. Just quick shot around the horn. What were you guys doing during the Bears game this week? Anything special? Just watching at home? Anything special, Jay? What were you up to?
I was actually golfing. Right. Yeah, I was golfing at the Shepherd's Crook. So I was at the Crook with my dad, my brother, and another buddy. And so we teed off at noon. Game didn't start till 3:25. So we got in the clubhouse, had another, a soda or two, and watched part of the game, and then drove home. And I was just watching it on Hulu. I watched the full tape earlier this morning so I could kind of catch up and see everything. But what a great vibe. And the texts were going off the chain. We were doing some celebrating, watching it, and it was unexpectedly great time.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Drew, anything special for the game? Just watching at home. What were you doing on Sunday?
Actually went to a couple buddies' house, or to a buddy's house, friend of the program, Mark Janicek. Saw his kids. Another one of our friends, friend of the program, Brian Roth, joined us for a couple libations. Some good Bears feels, which was awesome. Stayed there for the first half, and then went back and watched the remainder with my parents. But just some good vibes all around, channeling them and experiencing with some good people, and that's always a good positive.
Yeah, absolutely. I just watched the game in my house, but it was awesome. I had my buddy lives. I think I've mentioned this before, but a good friend of mine that I've known since like middle school, like a groomsman at my wedding. My buddy Jamal, he lives like 3 houses down from me, and he has a kid about my son's age. And his son was over at my house hanging out with my son, and they're big Ravens fans. They love the Ravens, and they hate the Bears because they're haters. But they were talking before the game started. They were saying, "Go Cowboys, go Cowboys," and all this stuff. And I literally had to be like, All right, that's all fun and games. But as soon as the Bears go down 14 points, I'm gonna start like throwing stuff at kids. So you might want to get out of here.
And clear my field of view, please.
Yeah. So like, yeah, you guys got. I said, all right, you guys got to get out of this room. And the kid looked up at me like, seriously? I'm like, yes, get out of this room now.
Yeah.
So
that's when you know you've made it as an adult too. When you're just like, you gotta just the laughing time is over now.
Yeah, exactly. I know myself. I'm like, I can't say, I'm not going to scream at another person's kid for rooting for a team I don't like, but I would. So I don't want that to happen. All right. So as I mentioned at the top, Bears win this game going away 31-14. Kind of all facets of the game were kind of clicking on all cylinders, or at least closest to all cylinders we've seen in a long time. There's a couple negatives we're going to get to, but I want to talk positives, and I want to spend most of the time talking positives because I think there's so many positives to talk about. So I'm just going to jump right in. The first two positives I want to talk about is, number one, take the ball away 4 times. Right, Bears had 3 interceptions and a fumble recovery. I'm going to talk about him more later, I guess, but shout out Tyreek Stevenson, because obviously he had a couple pass breakups, but that forced fumble on the first drive was a real tone setter, and honestly, it was kind of a turning point, which is weird to say for like the 4th play from scrimmage. But the Cowboys were gashing the Bears in that drive, and on that play particularly. And Tyreek Stevenson made an unbelievable play, and I mean, to punch the ball out, get the ball, and keep yourself in bounds all in like one movement when you have like 6 inches of sideline there, was honestly one of the better defensive plays I've seen a Bears player make in a long time. It was unbelievable. So I think that really kind of set the tone for the whole game. And then it helps that the Bears offense. Oh wait, the Bears actually didn't score in their first drive, did they? They went 3 and out.
Yeah.
Then,
well, that made it all more important that he ripped the ball out, because
for sure. Right.
I know I've been a proponent of calling for the Bears to get the ball first. Maybe there's a reason for not for them to not, but yeah, 3 and out, and then Tyreek rips it out, which is great.
So yeah, 4 takeaways. I mean, I didn't think this defense had it in them, even against like some of the worst teams in the league. 4 takeaways in the game. That's actually a really good day. And then another thing, so we're celebrating 6 penalties in the game. That's a cause for celebration.
It's a win.
But you know what, though? If you look at the trend, right, we're trending downward. We were at 12, then we went to 8. Now we're at 6. We're going, we're eventually going to get there. So the penalties, we're getting better at the penalties. There weren't as many pre-snap. There was just like some holds. There was like an ineligible man downfield, stuff like that. So 6 penalties for 41 yards. 6 penalties is still a lot, but for 41 yards, I mean, it's like you could probably live with that if you're an okay team. And I don't know if the Bears are an okay team, but they played like a really good team this week, so I'll take it. But one of the biggest things I want to talk about, obviously, like there's a lot to talk about the defense, the takeaways. Caleb Williams has been kind of the subject of a lot of jokes on social media, national media stuff, like questioning whether he's the guy, whether he's a bust already, which I've always said was crazy this early. I mean, Caleb Williams' numbers this week are like a legitimate, like, top 15, borderline top 10 quarterback in the NFL. Almost 70% completion percentage, 19 to 28 for just under 300 yards, 4 touchdowns, 0 picks, passer rating over 140, all 4 touchdowns to 4 different receivers. I mean, he did look like an elite quarterback out there. Now, I know the Cowboys' defense is absolute dog shit. They're so bad, and I can't wait to talk about that some more later. But Caleb Williams, I mean, we've played bad defenses with bad quarterbacks, and you don't see numbers like this. This is un-Bears-like to see a quarterback have 300 yards or just short of 300 yards and 4 touchdowns. So I think, this is definitely a step in the right direction. Drew, I mean, you watched the game. Like, what were your thoughts on Caleb as the game's going on?
Yeah, efficient is what went through my mind, and the way that he let's give credit to didn't get sacked, had a lot of time, was able to make the proper throws. So that's good. So you see what he can do with time, with the time that he should have all the time. But then he was efficient with his throws. Like you said, 19 completions to what do we have? 8 different wide receivers, 4 touchdowns to, it wasn't to a same wide receiver each time. And his deep balls looked good. They looked like we had some. Finally, we were asking, or I was at least asking for a little bit of loft underneath things, less on a line, a little bit of touch. He and efficiency and in control. And I really loved that he still, even after the game, he was kind of psyched up. He was talking to Tom Brady. He talked to a bunch of different people. He got a game ball in the locker room. Still seemed very even keel. So I loved to see that out of Caleb throughout the entire game, and to see just how he can handle a Ben Johnson offense where they just are going to score and they're going to go down and they're going to keep scoring and they're going to try to put it on him, because I think he can handle that now. So efficiency, all of his demeanor, it all came together for Caleb in my eyes this week.
Yeah, agreed. It was great to see. Jay, you're pretty fresh into watching the game. What were your thoughts watching Caleb go down the field a few times?
God, yeah, it was great. So what I did this morning too is I watched the all 22 film. So I got to see like every angle, not every angle, but every play, and got to really just focus in on Caleb and the offensive line. And it was really, really encouraging. You can't, if you're saying anything else after that kind of performance with 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, no sacks, it looked good. If you want to be nitpicky, every quarterback's going to miss a throw or two a game. We're not looking to bat 1,000 here, but he definitely paid the bills in that performance. It was awesome. Drew, like you said, that deep ball was sexy as hell. The first touchdown to Rome was fantastic. I don't know what Diggs was doing there. If you saw that replay, I don't know if you saw that, but he just tried to kind of jab Rome and missed and just lost like 3 steps right off the line. But Caleb recognized and he threw the ball on time in the right spot and touchdown. Right? And that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to see the field. That's what we've been wanting from Caleb to do, see the field. What I have written down, which I thought was the coolest, and it wasn't even a touchdown. It wasn't even a big play in the game. But what I loved seeing Caleb do was there was a play in the third quarter where a corner was crashing in and was showing off that he was going to blitz, and Caleb audibled out of it, whatever play was called, and ran right at the blitz with Swift, and he picked up a chunk of 12 yards for a first down. I was like, that's what we want to see our quarterback do. Yeah. Understanding things pre-snap, being smart. It's not just about getting the ball on time and throwing it. It's about being the general and understanding when to audible out of a play and do something that's going to get you a chunk of yards. So, very exciting stuff out of Caleb today. Great game calls, a great game plan too by Ben Johnson. So everything just kind of came together. And honestly, guys, 0 sacks is probably the stat of the game there. This is what can happen.
The lead there, yeah.
Right? Yeah. This is what can happen if he has time. And that's what I wrote down when I was watching the game film. I was like, hey, it's Caleb with time. It's chunk plays when he has time. So it's very encouraging. Still super excited about being able to kind of watch that. So good stuff.
Yeah, no, 100%. And you mentioned the check out of a play to run it right at a blitz. There was a play where I think it was in the second quarter. It was kind of a relatively close game at the time, I believe. I think it might have even been a really close game. And Caleb was rolling out to his right and nobody was open, and he just kind of kept trying to stay alive, and eventually he just threw it clean out of bounds. And that's like, again, the stupid little things like that are things that, like, okay, last week or 2 weeks ago or last year, he's trying to make a hero play. He's like, all right, we're going to, fight another day. And you love to see him like just kind of keep, again, trajectory, right? Where is he going to be? We don't expect him to be an all-pro quarterback today. We expect him to kind of just keep building on where he was. And it seems like the last couple of weeks he has been a little bit anyway. So love to see that. The next thing I want to talk about is the pass catchers. The pass catchers when I was writing this down, I was like, oh man, the pass catchers all had like 100 yards each. And I'm like, oh wait, actually he sped the ball around so much that like none of their numbers look crazy off the page. They had good games, but I thought that somebody had a really good game, but he just spread it around so evenly. Like you look at, so Luther Burden's your leader catcher. Welcome to the NFL, by the way. 3 catches, 101 yards, touchdown. Most of those yards came on the flea flicker, but still. Roma Dunze, 3 catches, 62 yards and a touchdown. Cole Kmet had a catch for 10 yards and a touchdown. Colson Loveland had an appearance, making a catch for like over 30 yards, which was awesome to see. Very athletic catch by him. Hurt his hip later in the game. Hope he's okay. It seems like he should be okay, but yeah, you never know. You don't want to see him out. Huh?
I said, you're right. You never know.
Yeah, but he looked good out there when he was playing. DJ Moore, he actually had 4 catches, but only 21 yards, and then he got that touchdown late in the game. So we're starting to see Caleb utilize the weapons that he has, right? And this is one of the first. A lot of times you see Roma Dunze has 8 catches, or there's even been games where Cole Kmet's had 6, 8 catches, whatever it is, where one receiver has kind of got the bulk of the carries. But this year, this game, it was nice to see everyone kind of spread out a little bit. So I like that a lot. And I mean, I don't know if you guys have anything to add about the pass catchers, but it was just good to see them out there catching passes and making plays.
I was so thrilled to see that seam route to Loveland. I mean, he got a big chunk play, and I was like, that's what we were talking about. We just want to see those. And then Kmet on his touchdown catch too, just kind of goes firing right up the seam. Just keep it tight. So to me, those were the takeaways. Is I know that they didn't get targeted a ton, but they were useful. They were efficient when they were. And I was happy to see the tight ends somewhat involved with some big catches.
Yeah, absolutely.
And a lot of that, you gave credit earlier, Nick, to Ben Johnson's offense. Like, it seems like he's not scheming one singular player open anymore. Like, he understands all of the players that he has to involve. And you saw a lot of that with how much open space these guys were catching the ball in. Yeah. Like, especially the 2 touchdowns from Kmet and DJ Moore. Like, they're just literally, there's no one. I mean, that speaks to some Dallas poor ass defense, but there's no one near them, which is very refreshing to see.
That's a great call, Drew.
Yeah, I mean, I'm used to seeing the other team have the wide open guys and the Bears just chasing them like their hair's on fire. So it's kind of nice to be on the other side of that every once in a while. But speaking of defense, I do want to actually, before we get to our Bears defense, there's one particular person I want to make sure gets shouted out in this game. Nothing on this game tape really jumps out at you, but I want to shout him out. We have been shitting on Braxton Jones for the past month, maybe more, maybe go back to last year a little bit. I don't really remember. Not just us, but the entire Bears fandom, Chicago media, everyone's been calling for this guy's job, saying he sucks. Get the rookie in there. Again, nothing he did on tape jumps out at you, but he did play 59 snaps, 0 sacks, 0 hurries, 0 pressures. And Jay, I did see that statistic as well, and I looked up what the difference between pressures and hurries was, and I couldn't figure it out. And I read the definition.
I don't know.
I don't know what that means, so I'm just gonna put them both on here because it sounds way more impressive. And anyway, but shout out Braxton Jones. Shout out the entire offensive line. We said no sacks, right? That's awesome. But Braxton Jones in particular has been just he's been going through it a little bit this start of the season. So it was good to see him out there, being a reliable person that you could put out there and not worry about, being a revolving door. Yep. So I'm happy to see him out there, doing his job. But anyway, so let's talk some defense, because that was another, we talked, you put 31 points, you're going to talk about your offense a lot, but this Cowboys team has players. Granted, CeeDee Lamb did get hurt on the 6th offensive play of the game, which is a bummer for the Cowboys. Seems like he's going to miss some time with a high ankle sprain. Hate to see that. There's a lot of fantasy implications out there, but even so, I mean, the Cowboys can sling it. Jake Ferguson had 1 billion catches in this game, it felt like, and then you got Pickens out on the outside as well. So this team can still put up points. To limit them to 14 points, that's a pretty good day at the office. And some people I really want to call out. Tyreek Stevenson, I mentioned at the top, awesome day. He had that fumble at the beginning of the game. Also had a couple pass breakups. He has kind of become your default cornerback 1, right? He's like going against the best receiver on the other team, and he's playing pretty. He had a pretty good game. I won't say he's been playing pretty good because he got torched against Detroit,
Right.
But he had a good game, and that's
he had a game he needed for sure.
Yes.
He played with some fire.
A comeback. You got burned for almost 3 touchdowns with Amon-Ra St. Brown, so you got to come back.
Yeah. So Tyreek, nice game. I've always thought that he had a lot of talent, and I think that he can be a really useful player on this team. So I'm happy to see him kind of have that game. I mean, how about last week we were shitting on Ryan Poles, and then 2 of his middle round draft picks had decent games. He's probably got to be feeling pretty good about himself too.
Yeah. He was in the locker room celebrating.
I saw that. Tremaine Edmonds, I mean, we kind of talked shit about him too, a little over the hill, but man, that dude he was a ball hawk on Sunday. He's got 2 picks. You don't see a inside linebacker with 2 picks in a game very often, but he did it, and it was important. One of them was in the end zone. I think the other one was getting close to the end zone. So you get no, was it not?
It was getting close, but it was the George Pickens bump set spike.
That's
the
right.
ball right
okay,
into his hand.
That's right.
Yeah,
playing volleyball, playing them.
Yeah, no, I don't want it. You take it.
All right, right place, right time, but still opportunistic defenses.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll take that. And then one of my biggest points for the game is that Montez Sweat is alive. We've done a safety a safety check on Montez Sweat. He's alive and well. He had a sack. He actually had a couple other pressures as well. He had a pretty decent game. And then the last thing, Dominique Robinson had a sack as well for the Bears. So all in all, we're kind of seeing people flash all over the field right now. You got your receivers, your quarterback. I didn't mention his name, but DeAndre Swift may not have had a statistically great game, but he was running hard out there. Kyle Monungai, who had the coolest 12-yard loss of all time.
Hardest run you'll see.
Yeah.
I actually thought he was going to break it at one point. Like, holy shit, dude, he might break, but no. Just 12-yard loss.
Yeah.
That's the kind of effort you want to see, though. It's funny that he lost so many yards, but I like the effort. Maybe pick and choose your spots, but I'll always take somebody with a lot of effort, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, you got the quarterback, the running backs, wide receivers, tight ends, offensive line, defensive line, linebackers, safeties. Because I didn't mention Kevin Byard also had a pick in this game. Every single level of this team contributed to this win. And I think that when you see a game like this, it's kind of like evidence to say, okay, maybe us Bears fans aren't crazy for just getting hyped about these teams sometimes, because we have the amount of times I've said we have the talent on this team to be an okay team, and then to see them get shit on the Sundays drives me crazy. But then a game like this happens, it's okay, I can kind of reaffirm that there is talent on this team. They can compete in this league a little bit. So it's really it's kind of reassuring that okay, I'm not going crazy. You know what I mean? Because we got talent on this team. But yeah, I don't know. Is there anything, Drew, anything you want to call out specifically in this game?
I think they played, again, the defense got back into a little bit of the bend but don't break. I'm not going to lie, not saying that I had premonitions or anything like that. It didn't feel like this game was in incredible jeopardy as soon as CeeDee Lamb got hurt. I think that was a huge part of my mindset of thinking, okay, this guy's going to burn us all day. We're going to be talking about it, and we're going to have to keep up with that with an offense. It definitely changed their offensive mindset and the way that they had to play. And you saw that in 13 catches out of Jake Ferguson and George Pickens, the only other. But I really do think that our defense has the ability to play efficient, bend but don't break like we've seen in the years past.
Yep.
That's all that we need. That's all that we need, because we've shown in games like this where even the over might be in jeopardy, we can still hang points on somebody's head. And we can keep up. So as long as they have a missile of a field goal kicker on Dallas's squad, so yeah, keep them to field goal range, and we can score touchdowns on them instead. So that's what I was proud of most. And then, the red zone defense was awesome because they had 4 trips. They only scored once. Great. Amazing. Two turnovers. So that's great. So as long as we can keep that from a defensive perspective this year, I think we're going to see a lot more of the 30-point win, not 30-point deficit, but 30 points, and you can win a game that way very easily in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, the Bears are very quietly averaging 26 points a game.
It's impressive.
That's pretty fucking good. Like
that should win you. That should have you at 2-1.
You should at least, and you should be in most games, minus the Lions game last week. But you should be in most games scoring 26 points a game. Like that's honestly pretty impressive in year one. But anyway, sorry, Jay. Anything specific you wanted to highlight?
Well, Drew, I'm glad you hit on your key to the game, to get the bend but don't break defense back, and that's what happened. I mean, there were yards put up by Dallas, but the red zone defense was firm, and the turnovers were everywhere. I mean, 4 turnovers, you're going to win the game, and you don't win the game with getting 4 turnovers. You did something drastically wrong, so that was critical. One other just side note, in a call out to a player that didn't show up so much on the stat sheet, but when I watched that all 22 film and I was focusing in on the defensive line, Andrew Billings is a big man. That is a big man, and he was taking up a center and a guard whenever. I mean, whether it was a pass play or a rush play, he was filling up a gap and a half by himself. So I just wanted to call out to him because he was grinding that game and he was getting some big pressure right up the gut. And Dallas's offensive line, their strength is guard, center, guard, and he was filling them up. So I thought that was nice to see. Again, you just kind of disrupt things right up the gut. Dak had an adequate amount of time, I feel. I still feel like the pressure wasn't huge. A couple of sacks, that's cool to see from the team too. But everyone else stepped up on the defense and got those turnovers. And without those turnovers, I think the game's a lot different. Some of those turnovers were a little bit opportunistic, right? George Pickens just hot potatoing a ball or two. Stevenson with his effort play to rip the ball. But I mean, great performance overall by the defense. And, that's how you recover from getting 52 hung up on you to only letting 14. And that's a recipe for success.
Yeah, absolutely. So I want to dive into something that I think we all have pretty strong thoughts on, and it's just our coach, Ben Johnson. His name's been brought up many times. Ben Johnson, like Jay, you said it earlier during the game. I loved his game plan. He's attacking the secondary. That's the weakest part of the Cowboys. They don't have a great pass rush. You're going to have time. Attack the secondary. Make them make decisions. Try and make them, confused before the snap. And it worked. It worked very well. The Cowboys' defensive backs had no idea what was going on half the time. They were very confused. And there was always a wide receiver running open. That's all scheme, right? You can chalk up a lot of it to just like bad Dallas play, but I do think a lot of the bad Dallas play is from the Bears' schemes and confusing looks and different formations and different packages and all that fun stuff. So hats off to Ben Johnson for his game plan. I thought it was unbelievable. So that's on the field. Off the field, I sent you guys that Twitter video that I found. I mean, it was on. I saw it on TV live, and I rushed Twitter to find the digital version that I could send out because it was such a cool video of Ben Johnson getting the game ball, and then all the team jumping around him and messing his hair up and all that stuff, and then they did that call and answer bit that it sounds like they do it a lot because they knew it. They were all right there with it. And it was awesome. And then Drew, you sent out that video today. Drew sent us a video today of compare and contrast the locker room after Ben Johnson's first win versus after Matt Eberflus's first win. And my God, it was so night and day different. I mean, it was Matt Eberflus. I mean, we talked about it a lot last year, so forgive us for dipping back into kind of a plain old hits a little bit here. But Matt Eberflus was just the least entertaining, motivating person of all time. It just seemed like he was just rambling on and on about nothing. There was a point where he would say something as a call and answer, and people were kind of room, normal room volume, responding, nothing really exciting about it. But man, you can just like see the passion with Ben Johnson. Like it was very cool to see. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. One of the thoughts that I also had is that when Nagy was here, they had like that club dub after wins, right? And and that was a big thing. But it also felt kind of like, I don't know, kind of gimmicky, right? I don't know. This just felt like very like real and like, I don't know. Ben Johnson like is a leader of men and just stood up and they responded to him. So I like to see it. I love to see it. It's like one of I don't know. That's I've probably watched that video 30 times in the past, like, whatever, 28 hours, whatever it is. So I love that stuff.
Yeah.
It's the thing that gives you like it gives you the prickly skin. You feel good. Like you're almost like, this is the way it's supposed to be. Yeah. Let's replicate that. But what I want to say, like, what magnifies that more and what makes that mean more as maybe a fan or even maybe a player for them too is Caleb even touched on it with his interview with Tom Brady after the game of like, did you see Ben Johnson smile out there? Did he have a smile or two going on? And Caleb was like, yeah, he might have cracked one smile. Like he's very stoic. It means that much more when a guy like that, stoic the entire game, gets that fired up.
Yeah.
You did everything. It's like, and Jay probably knows this, Nick, you don't know him as well, but my dad is a very stoic individual. But when something really good happens, or he's an offensive line coach for his freshman football team, when something's great happens or at the end of a game, end of a big win, that dude gets so fired up. And it's like, who is this guy? Like, it makes it mean that much more. And that's amazing to see. And that will give me the shivers every single time seeing stuff like that, like Ben Johnson do that.
Yeah.
You know what it reminded me of? I'm watching right now on Netflix, America's Team, the Cowboys documentary.
So good.
It's so good, but it reminded me a lot of the Jimmy Johnson attitude, right? It's all business. Everyone's going to be, I'm going to demand a lot, but when we win, boy, are we going to celebrate, and we're going to do it organically. We don't have to instill some kind of fake culture. We don't have to be milquetoast. We're going to live it up. And I love that. I mean, that's a coach. That's Nick. That's what you were saying. That's a leader of men.
Yeah.
That's what you want to see. And the players organically rallying around the energy that he's bringing, not by having to fake anything. It's just, this is what we do. And when we do it right, we're going to celebrate it. And it's a thing of beauty. That's football. That's sports.
Yeah. Side note about America's Team. My wife, she doesn't care about sports in any way, but she was in the room with me when I was watching that one time. And it was the episode, it was like episode 2 or 3 when the Cowboys were getting good kind of. And a guy fumbled the ball. It was like when Emmitt Smith was holding out and somebody fumbled a ball. And Jimmy Johnson like cut him on the spot, like halftime. He like cut him, and they had like an interview with him, like a cutaway to him, and he was just like, "Yeah, I cut him right away. If you can't fucking hold the ball, you can't be on my team or whatever." My wife's like, "God, he's an asshole." I'm like, "That's a fucking football coach." Like, anyway. But one other thing I want to touch on the Ben Johnson stuff. So obviously, like we just talked about, the room was the atmosphere in that room was unbelievable. Like those guys would fucking do anything for Ben Johnson. So that kind of brings me back to like earlier in the week, we mentioned how Ben Johnson kind of called out the team for their lack of, practice habits. They weren't practicing like a championship caliber team, all that stuff. The fact that those guys responded to him by not only like coming out there and like playing their asses off and winning a game, but then like after the game, that was the scene in the locker room. That's a tight-knit group. That's a team. That's a coach that has the players' trust and the players that have the coach's trust. I don't know. It's funny that like a stupid little thing like a celebration after a win can like do this, but like I'm like genuinely like drinking the Kool-Aid harder than I was. Yeah. More like just that alone is probably more than the game was to me. Like I see that, I'm like, this team is actually building something. I can like see it. I don't know if they're going to be good this year, but they're building something. I've never believed in Ben Johnson more than I do right now.
That's totally fair. I mean, there's the nerds that want to say, hey, listen, it's all about executions in the stats, but you got to be a cohesive unit. And when you have each other's back, like that is real. That was not like fake celebration. People got monkeys off their back in that game. That's Ben's first win. Yep. In Drew, honestly, like I know it was funny, but showing the Eberflus celebration next to Ben Johnson, like people didn't. They're there to get a paycheck. You know, these guys, it means something to win. That is so big, and it's such a huge importance to have a culture where you want to win. You know, the players want to win, the coaches want to win. You could tell that fire is there. So if nothing else, I mean, it's certainly not a negative. I would argue that it certainly is a positive. And I'm with you, Nick. Like, that is worth drinking the Kool-Aid, because it's fun to see that. It's fun to see that kind of energy in a locker room. I feel like the Bears haven't had that in a long time. Flus and Nagy and Fox and Trustman is like, those are just low energy kind of guys. But this seems like that he's going to be able to extract and leverage that kind of emotion to have everyone have each other's back, and that's just something that's very unique in a Bears culture.
Last thing on, well, it doesn't have to be the last thing on Ben Johnson. Nick, you had it in here too, and it was something that we've been looking for in him. In Ben Johnson's been synonymous with it for a while, of trick plays, and we saw the flea flicker. It also shows that Ben Johnson is starting to feel comfortable with the people that he has in doing the actions and playing on the field to call that and saying, you know, hey, we might not be total in control of this game, but I'm going to throw something in here that I think they can trust. I can trust them to execute, which is perfect, because that's what I want to feel all the time. I want him to feel that all the time, because that's when we're going to have the most success. So kudos to you for having that in here underneath Ben Johnson, rather than just being a extra play that was cool to see. Although really thought something really bad was going to happen when DeAndre threw that ball about 15 feet in the air.
12 feet in the air,
But that I'm great to see him feeling comfortable enough to call those, to trust his team to execute them.
That was an absolute rope of a throw too. I mean, that had a lot of carry right on the money.
70 yards in the air.
Yeah, that was a sexy.
And he threw it like relatively like flat-footed too. Like he didn't get a step. He got pressured. He didn't get a great step into it. So yeah, that was really good. That was awesome. And I mean, just the faith in your team to have to throw that out there, like you said, that's really important. And happy to see it so early, and hope. Like I said, preparing, I think it was for the Lions game. We were prepping for the Lions game, and Jay, I think you asked if I want to see any trick plays. I'm like, nervous, right? Because we almost saw how
just execute the basics first.
We almost saw how bad it could get with that. I mean, DeAndre did throw that ball 30 feet in the air and kind of sidearm it. It was a very weird looking play, but it worked. Like I said, they either look awesome or it's an absolute humiliation. And, it worked out. So we'll take this one. So yeah, that was, I mean, again, just nothing but, well, I shouldn't say nothing but positive things to say, because we're going to touch on a little bit of the negatives right now. But again, we're going to barely harp on them. Main thing I want to take away is that Bears looked awesome. Think the coach is for real, and quarterback is ascending. Team's ascending. I think the team is really kind of ascending right now. So we'll see where this goes. If we can look back at the end of the season and be like, man, that Lions game was embarrassing, but that was like the true low point of the season. It's been like all uphill since then. That would be a good year for me. Like even if they don't like win, I'm not even talking win-loss record, right? Like I'm just talking like Bears have been in every game since then. I would love that. Negatives, right? We're going to touch on a little negatives. We're not going to harp on this too much. The run defense is still a problem. We kind of skirted around it during the positives. We talked a lot of nice things about the defense, a lot of the secondary, interceptions, turnovers, all that stuff. The run defense is bad. The run defense needs to be better. Giving up, 7 yards a carry about against the Cowboys team. So going to have to shore that up a little bit. You can't rely on your bend but don't break defense, because we've seen that. That works for a handful of games. Eventually, defense gets tired and scores. They give up points. So let's just stop the run.
Yeah, I was worried at the very beginning, because I mean, like you said, you hit on it, Nick. I mean, they were chunking off some plays, and that could have gotten south super quickly.
Yeah, it was kind of all my worst fears right off the bat. Just like, oh my God, Javonte Williams is going to run for 1,000 yards in this game. But either way, I mean, again, don't want to harp on it. Bears won by a lot. It was a fun game to watch, but the Bears' run defense needs some work. So let's try and shore that up a little bit. Like Caleb had some throws that I thought, I don't know if it was inaccurate by him or if the relation, like I don't know what the word is I'm looking for, but the timing with the receiver was just like off. Yeah. It seemed like it was an overthrow, and Tom Brady mentioned it was an overthrow, but also like I saw Rome come out of his break and it like wasn't a super like fast out of his break. It seemed like he slowed down and kind of like wasn't, I don't know. It just seemed like a weird timing play. So I don't think it all goes on Caleb, but I do think that like the timing and the relationship between Caleb and the receivers just need to shore that up a little bit. Again, hard to be negative about your passing game when you put up 300 yards and 4 touchdowns. So I'm not going to harp on that too much. Yeah. But the one thing I do want to talk about, though, which I posted this funny little Twitter thing that I saw, is Darnell Wright he's a penalty machine. This guy, he's a good player, but he has a lot of penalties. He has like 2 or 3 penalties a game.
Yeah. He's quickly falling into the average player category, in my opinion.
I think he's a good player, but just those penalties. For those listeners, I posted it's a picture of Jonah Hill talking to Brad Pitt from the movie Moneyball, and it's the comment is, Billy, this is Darnell Wright. He's one of the best all-around right tackles in the NFL, and he's only 24 on a rookie contract. The problem is he commits drive-killing penalties on 75% of the team's drives.
Yeah.
I thought that was really funny.
Yeah. No, that's it.
It does feel that way. Like it feels like in this game specifically, because obviously in previous games it's been penalties everywhere. But in this game specifically, every time there was a flag when the Bears had the ball, it's like, what did Darnell Wright do this time?
Yeah, and, it's almost like a 60% clip this year.
Yeah, it's
is it somebody else on the offense or is it Darnell?
Yeah,
yeah.
So need to clean that stuff up. One of them was an ineligible man downfield penalty, which it wasn't a screen pass or anything, so I'm not really sure what he was doing going downfield anyway. One of them, I don't know, it's like a hold probably. I don't remember the second one, but yeah, really need to get that cleaned up because, we talk about a lot. Penalties, that's the number one way to kill your drives, right? Getting penalties, getting second and 20s, first and 20s, stuff like that. You don't want any of that stuff. So Darnell got to clean that up. And that's it for negatives, I think. I mean, nothing else really jumped out at me. Cairo didn't do anything that drove me crazy, so I got nothing about him today. Velas isn't on the team anymore, so nothing there. I don't know. You guys got anything negative-wise?
Negative-wise, just, quickly, I think we got to have a little bit. It's hard to be negative when we had such a meaningful victory. However, looking at the tackle positions left and right, and I know Braxton had a good game, but when we're taking a look at the run game and our offensive line and what they're doing in the run game, I was watching with a very sharp eye that all 22 film, and on some of those runs, the assignment was to get to the second level and get a linebacker, and you'd see Darnell Wright just whiff. I mean, he wasn't even close, and that's how you fill up a gap and you get a 0-yard run. And same with Braxton on a couple of times when he just was supposed to be hitting someone at that second level, not even chipping on someone at the first level, and they were ghosting people. And so that's not what you want to see. I think that speaks to in large reason why the run game, there wasn't a lot of great stats to look there. But I do want to call that out as a negative, because if that continues to happen, you can't rely on Caleb throwing for 4 touchdowns every game. It's just not going to be sustainable. No one's able to do that. So hopefully that can get cleaned up. But I will mix in that negative with a nice little positive. When Darnell Wright was out of the game for like a series or two, Theo Benedict looked really good at right tackle. He was mauling people, and maybe not mauling people, but he was blocking people. Which was refreshing to see. Yeah. So I'll call him out too and give him a little bit of kudos because he filled in pretty well.
Yeah, that's good to see. Where do you get the all 22? Do you see watch on NFL.com or something like that? Or
yeah, it's a good question. So my Hulu wouldn't allow me to put in the sports package for Red Zone. So I went on week 1 and I just did it through NFL.com. And so that's how I get Red Zone. And then you can see all of the game replays too, which is kind of neat. And I was going to cancel it because it's like $5 more a month, but I was like, that all 22 film's a cool way to break down the Bears, and so I'm keeping it for that.
Yeah, that's cool. I might check
Watching
that out.
like 1.5 speed, and you can get through the game in like 45 minutes is pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna check that out. That's pretty cool. Yeah.
Only negative I have is, and I know we touched on it with the rushing game, but this is kind of a spin on it here, is yes, both of the sacks that we had were good to see. They both happened in the second half when we had a sizable lead where you understand that the pass is going to come. So going forward, we really need to make sure that we stop the run to honestly get a pass rush, because I don't think these guys are rushing hard, or they don't even know what to do when they're on the field and runs are guaranteed to come. We need to have a pass rush that is effective, and that's going to come when you can stop the run. And I don't know if it's going to happen this year, guys, which is very scary. Very scary to see. I loved seeing Montez and DeMarcus, or whatever his name is, Robinson, get sacks. But when it's guaranteed, yes, it shows when it's guaranteed passing downs that they can get in there, or guaranteed passing situation, they can get in there. That's great. But I don't know if we're going to have it all year anymore. So need to shore it up so badly so that we can actually rush a passer.
That's well said. I mean, you're not going to get 4 turnovers. You're not going to get 4 Caleb Williams touchdowns a game. You're not going to get 4 turnovers a game. And you do need to do the basics right on that defensive line. And that is worrisome, But hey, let's celebrate the victory.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, I think this Bears team just kind of needs to realize that you're not going to get home with 4. It's just not going to happen with this team. So
you're not going to have a star wide receiver get injured in the first couple of plays.
No, for sure.
I gotta say, guys, I'm turning this into a little bit of a negative, Debbie Downer here, but if I see DJ Moore line up in the backfield one more time, I'm gonna lose my mind. These guys are not, wide receivers are not built. I know you got to get the ball in their hands wherever, but they're not built to be running backs. It's a reason why the running back position is one of the least longevity positions in the NFL. They take handoffs and they go against the biggest boys on the defense. Wide receivers catch passes on the outside and they get tackled by people that are smaller than them.
Corners and safeties, yeah.
Like I can't see that happen and him get rolled up or alligator tackled like CD Lamb got.
Yeah, and that's how he got hurt.
Just unbelievable. Why? I mean, Brian Schottenheimer in my mind should have got fired on the spot.
Yeah.
I would have taken his fucking clipboard and sent him packing. Sorry,
I don't think you have to wait long for that. I really don't think you're going to wait long for that. But yeah, and really quick before we give our grades, I just want to talk. I want to talk about our boy Eberflus a minute, because defensive coordinator of the Cowboys, and things are not going great for the Cowboys defense. You'll give him a little bit of leeway because obviously he probably prepared all off season to have one of the best edge rushers in the league on his team, and Jerry Jones traded him at the 11th hour. So he kind of was, left without anything to rush the passer, but also his defense is just getting torched by Russell Wilson, Caleb Williams. I mean, I don't know who they played in week 1, but the Eagles. So that's justified. But our boy Matt Eberflus is down bad, and he wanted to win this game. He wanted to come back and show everyone that he was right and everybody else was wrong. And I mean, everything that happened in that game just kind of confirmed everything that we always thought, is that he's just an average coach at best. And I don't know. I loved watching him struggle. That's all. I don't know if you guys have thoughts on him.
He'll be an easy sacrificial lamb if the Cowboys use. I mean, he's an easy cut.
He's a lamb that broke all 4 of his legs and landed on the chopping block.
That's it. That's right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. And on top of it, too, like we're gonna win this one for Eberflus. Like, oh, he's gonna get the game ball. Bullshit. Like, come on. Like, you're pulling fucking straw from a horse's ass, whatever that means. But like, it doesn't, because it doesn't correlate. Like, unbelievable. I can't believe that would have been said. There was one shot that I was seeing all over social media today. It was him like attempting to drill into, I don't know if it was a linebacker or a secondary player when they came off, and the dude literally just looked at him really quickly and just like walked away. Like he wasn't saying anything of substance to him. It's just like, yeah, okay, whatever, whoever you are. Just, yeah.
He's probably got a really cool nickname for that guy, though.
Hey, you.
I'm like, oh, hey, I'm going to call you Speed because you're fast.
Bud.
Anyway, okay. Shout out Matt Eberflus. God bless him. Anyway, so we're gonna get to our overall grades now. Yeah, I mean, I'm curious to hear what you guys have to say because obviously you look at the scoreboard, it's good. We just touched on there's some stuff to clean up. So, Drew, what are you giving the Bears? Offense, defense, then overall?
It's hard to go anywhere else other than the top category or top grade. Mm-hmm. I think for me, it's just a solid. I don't want to overanalyze it. It's solid A's across the board. No extreme A pluses because you let up some points. You had some misses on some. You didn't start as strong as you have with your offense, but on all facets of offense, defense, and coaching, I feel like it's just a strong A across the board. Strong A game. You got a get back after you got your face absolutely rubbed in the dirt, and this was needed. So, no further analysis.
Yeah, that makes sense. Jay, what are you doing?
Yeah, offense, I'm going to give an A-. I'm going to be a little bit critical here, probably hypercritical, but I'm allowed to do that, so I'm going to do it. And I just there's things from the run game that it gives me the heebie-jeebies and it keeps me up at night. I love what I saw from the pass protection. I like a lot what I saw from Caleb, and I really didn't like what I saw from the run game. So, hey, they won by 17. I'm not going to dock them too much, but the A- is there to emphasize that run game is going to be a concern going forward, and it's just going to be not there for the whole season unless something changes drastically. Defensive side, I'm going to stick with an A- as well. I did like, Drew, you called for it, bend but don't break, and that's what you got to do when you can't get pressure on a quarterback. I think there were a lot of opportunistic turnovers, and at the end of the day, you shouldn't be knocked for that. I just didn't see the consistent pressure. They had a nose for the ball. The timing was well. They played well as a unit. They did the right thing. But again, that minus is just an emphasis of I'd like to see things on both sides of the ball in the trenches cleaned up a little bit more, execute a little bit more, get more pressure here and there. So overall, I'll give them I don't know how you can get to A-, and then still give them an overall A, but I'm going to do that. You win by 17 points. You are. Yeah. I just wanted to be able to have a little emphasis on, it was a great win. But if you look, and you're going ahead, there's just there are still some things to be a little bit concerned about in the trenches, and that's ultimately how you win football games. It's the trenches and a great quarterback. You're going to be set for life, and the trenches concern me still.
Yeah, Jay, I'm going to kind of echo your thoughts a little bit. I'm going to be a little bit more critical of the defense because, like you guys said, I think they did get a little. Tyreek Stevenson had a great play, but he kind of bailed out the defense on the first drive, and then kind of got some lucky turnovers. I do think the defense overall played pretty well, but I'm going to go down to the B+ for the Bears defense this game just because they gave up. They were getting gashed on the ground. So B+ for the defense. About the offense, honestly, the run game was not great, but I still look at the Bears offense and think that they moved the ball pretty consistently the whole game. It wasn't the Vikings game, the Bears scored, whatever was it, 27 points, but they scored, there was long stretches in the middle of that game where they were going 3 and out every drive. And that never really happened in this game. The Bears were moving the ball. I don't want to say it will, but pretty regularly. So I'm going to give the Bears offense an A. So that'll put me when I didn't ask you guys for coaching, but when you put the coaching piece into this as well, I'm going to kind of move. I'm going to say just an A overall for the Bears. It kind of puts kind of cancels out the B+ on the defense. So A for the Bears on Sunday. All in all, a good game.
Yeah. Hell yeah. 17-point victory. We did it. We're off the schneid.
31 to 14 feels like more than 17 points.
It does. It does.
When you said 17 points, like that can't be right. But it is. It's 100% right. It just seems like a much it's anyway. My dumb brain. Anyway. All right, so that'll do it for Bears stuff. You guys want to bounce around the league a little bit?
Hell yeah, we can bounce.
Let's do a little bounce.
Bounce with us a little bit. Jay, I'm going to kind of kick it back and forth in between this. I think we're going to touch a little bit on the North first and then go around the league. But if you saw anything, especially that you wanted to touch on in between this, I definitely open it up. But the number one thing that was, and I said this to you guys at the beginning before we started the show, was a great day in Chicago when the Bears win and the Green Bay Packers lose. That game, if you guys weren't, I'm sure, Jay, you weren't watching it attentively. One of the most boring watches I've ever had in a noon slate. And I was over at my parents' watching the Dogs. Had that on as the 12 o'clock noon slate game because my parents do not have Red Zone. Oh. I was so bored watching this game the entire time. I was praying for something to happen, and something did. Packers had one of the most mismanaged games I've ever seen from a coaching perspective. Their run game was not happening, and Cleveland seems to have a pretty solid dang defense.
Yeah.
In them. I think it's the number one ranked defense, but if you guys weren't paying attention or watching, or anybody out there listening wasn't watching, what ended up happening was we had a 10-0 ball game going into about 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Cleveland scores. They end up getting a blocked field goal at the end of regulation, or close to the end of regulation, and came down and kicked their own field goal to win the game 13-10. So guys, anything to analyze out of the mismanaged Green Bay Cleveland game? Are we taking this as kind of like a Green Bay Packers had a blunder? They're not the team. They are still the team we are looking to be at the top of the North, or like, is this really, really what they are? Jay, I'm going to kick it to you first.
So Jordan Love looked awful. I was watching some of the he just was missing things left and right. And credit where credit's due. The Cleveland defense is good, and they are good. But I mean, that you shouldn't only be putting up 10 points if you're the Packers. But hey, I love to see it. I love to see the Packers lose, the Bears win in a week. But I just think it kind of stresses the fact that when anyone can lose in the NFL on any given week, especially when you're not playing at home. But that was shocking. And the coaching of that game was, like you said, Drew, was terrible. But what stood out to me was Jordan Love just seemed, really bad. And he's looked good. And I don't know if it was just because the defense is that good, but of Cleveland. But I'll take it. I don't know how to analyze it, but I'll take it.
Yeah. Nick, what were your thoughts? Were you watching it?
So I was watching Red Zone, so I didn't see any of this game, basically. The first 3.5 quarters.
Thank goodness
it was
for you.
Completely off my screen. But obviously I was pretty locked in as it was kind of tightening up down the stretch. And, from what I saw, obviously didn't watch the whole game, but 10 points, not a lot of points. You watch this game and you're like, all right, so yeah, the Packers are a very good team with a quarterback who is good sometimes, not good sometimes. He doesn't. I think that's always been kind of the knock on him, is that Jordan Love is not a great quarterback until he gets later in the season. Then he kind of gets it rolling a little bit. And if he's not going to be super consistent, then I think this Packers team is very beatable, because you can't rely on getting points all the time, no matter how good that defense is. I don't think their offensive weapons, outside of maybe Tucker Kraft, or anything special at this moment. Their running game, but the receivers I meant. So I don't look at this Packers team as unbeatable. I still think they're probably the best in the North right now, but they're definitely not unbeatable. And I also am going to take some credit for the Packers' struggles because I started Jordan Love in my fantasy league because of the Joe Burrow injury, and obviously that was going to go poorly for me. So I will happily wear that badge all season if it means Jordan Love has a shitty season. So I might just tank my season and start Jordan Love all season. So I can, one, if that means the Packers are going to lose, that's great. And then two, I could be like, well, Jordan Love ruined my fantasy season. What are you going to do? So
if you have to fall on that sword, I'm glad that you can
I'll do
fall
it.
on that.
I'm happy to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm happy to do it. So
The scary thing of this game, one, we've already felt his wrath in previous seasons. We do have Myles Garrett later in the season, which that dude is just a game wrecker at any time. So scared to face him later in the season. The other thing is the Packers have a get-right game against who we just played next week in prime time. Micah going back. I think they're going back to.
They are, yeah.
They're going. Micah going back to Dallas. So that's going to be I think a mauling and massacre from that side. But next game in the North, you had a battle of backups, which was just unbelievable to watch. Nick, if you were watching Red Zone, Jay and I'm sorry to touch if you weren't watching anything, but if you were and you were seeing all the alerts of score after score after score of the Minnesota Vikings just catching an absolute heater on the Cincinnati Bengals, winning, what was that, 48-3, I think?
Yeah, it was a blowout.
Like that,
something ridiculous. Their defense looked good. Carson Wentz looked like he was playing back in 2018.
I mean, at the end of the game, Jake Browning is just not good. He's a bad quarterback.
That's what it is.
He's played 6 quarters of football and has like 6 interceptions a season or whatever. That's just terrible.
Hell of a ratio.
Every single time Red Zone went to this game, the Vikings already had more points and they were getting a turnover and either taking it to the house or getting close. Every time. I couldn't believe it. It blew my mind. It's just, I don't think the Bengals are that bad of a team, but maybe they are. I don't know.
I think that without Burrow, I think they are. I think their defense is absolute dong. And listen, hats off to the Vikings. I had Red Zone playing in the cart, so that was going through the speaker and it could check in on the phone from time to time. But seeing that, I was like, I certainly did not make a bet on that game because I was like that. I'm not betting a backup of the backup or the battle of the backups, but I think it was pretty shocking to see the Vikings put up 40 plus with Carson Wentz. But I do think it speaks to how bad the Bengals defense is and how bad Browning is with all of those turnovers that he was committing that was helping ramp up the score as well. So to get a little, I guess the point that I want to get across is that this doesn't give me fear that the Vikings are very good. Being able to win with a backup and hang that many points up, I think it really does speak to how bad the Bengals played in this game because it was atrociously bad.
Yes. Yeah. It does give me further solidification that the NFC North is just good. And they will be good. The defenses in there are very good. We're seeing another team put on a decent display tonight in the Detroit Lions, and it's a product of what we're sitting in the NFC North. A couple other wild finishes in around the league. We had a lot of blocked field goals going in. Eagles against the Rams. Jets blocking a field goal to take the lead, and then Baker Mayfield take it down. Obviously, the Browns blocked the kick. Any of those that you guys want to stop on other than the Browns?
If you don't mind, because I didn't tell you guys this specifically so we could talk about it on the pod. My bet of the week was Rams plus 3.5. And a big boy block. Yeah, and that whole game, I was seeing them up 14 or 12 or something. I was like, oh yeah, we did the right thing. Pat on the back. I'm playing, having some beers. I'm bragging on my brother who I'm riding the car. I was like, this, I told you this was a lock. We got it. And then, they're down 2, maybe 1, and then it's okay. Field goal. It doesn't matter. Make it, miss it, doesn't matter. We're great. Nothing can go wrong. The only thing that could go wrong, and it wouldn't even make sense, is a blocked field goal, and then you just sit on the ball because whatever. Nope, blocked field goal, big boy running it back, covers the spread. All is lost. All is lost. It was quite I mean, that's one of the worst beats that I've had. When we're talking about bad beats, that's up there on the Mount Rushmore for me of bad beats. And it was, that's what makes sports gambling fun to a certain degree. If you can't laugh at that a little bit, it's just like,
feel life after that.
Yeah. Yeah. But can you imagine being on the flip side if you had, Eagles -3.5? You're like, what the fuck just happened? Just money in the bank. So, but that was a pretty fun one, especially with the line.
Talk about another mismanaged ball game in coaching of how much you had that game in control. And then it seemed like they just tried to ride Kyron Williams out versus Matthew Stafford can spin the ball. He has 2 great wide receivers. Only found one of them, and you're playing the Super Bowl champs. So you got to step on their throats. Why we were continuously trying to run the ball, give them the ball back to get them back in that game. I feel for you, Jay. That was tough. And I knew it was out there because when I was watching that game, I was like, somebody out there either caught a horrible beat or somebody out there caught a amazing win where you're just like both sides of that. You're either in true elation or you're just like dead for about 5 minutes. Like, did that actually just happen?
Yeah.
That at no point when that man had the ball in his hands was there any time on the clock. Like,
no, I know.
By the time he gets the ball.
Yeah,
at no point.
Please just
No reason for that man. The biggest man on the field couldn't get caught by anybody. It's like so many things had to go wrong for you there. That's fucking terrible.
Top speed that man got clocked at was 18 miles per hour. That's a big boy running.
That's terrifying.
Yeah.
Good God.
Freight train.
The other top things in the league that I saw, at least in some of the noon slate, interesting that the Panthers blow out the Falcons. The Falcons might be just absolute dirt trash this year after starting and having a good start to the season, 1-0, and now they've lost 2 games in a row and contemplating if Michael Penix is the guy. Kirko Chains might have to come back in. But what a win for the Panthers. I think somebody here was talking about selecting that. Nick, wasn't that your dog of the week? Or was that 2 weeks ago?
That was 2 weeks ago. I had the Panthers, That was when they had that comeback against the Cardinals, where they didn't win, but I covered.
That's right. Mm-hmm. That's right. Okay. Mac Jones, 2-0 as a starter this year. 49ers just keep getting beat up, though. We got injuries galore on that side, losing Nick Bosa to an ACL this year. Tough. But one I want to stop on really quick is Danny Dimes being the first, potentially quarter of the season MVP. Do you guys think this team is real?
Nothing's real.
Nothing. I was going to say, there you go. That's it. I mean, God.
Maybe it's the ghost of Jim Irsay just absolutely pushing them through.
Maybe.
That's what
just
it is.
Getting them lit up. But the Colts 3-0 start looks like a team. You got Jonathan Taylor back there and a decent defense that can stop people. It looks like they might have something. And that poo division of the NFC South. What else could you ask for? Jay, Nick, you guys see anything else? I mean, there's some injuries out there. There's some other games that were out there, but anything out there that you want to specifically touch on in week 3?
Yeah, I have one thing really quick, Jay. Sorry, I don't want to jump in here necessarily, but the one thing I saw this happening, and I texted the group a couple of times last night, and I think it needs to be talked about.
Yes, I know where you're going.
What is wrong with Russell Wilson? What is wrong with this man? Like, okay. Like, for those not familiar with what happened, the Giants played the Chiefs last night on Sunday Night Football, and just their offense looked fucking terrible the whole game. Like, just absolutely nothing was working. But it was a standard Russell Wilson, just like try and scramble, throw it away, whatever. They by an I don't think it was a turnover, maybe like a good kick return. Somehow they get back into the game. They're down. I think they were down 13 points with like 4 minutes left. They had the ball in the red zone. They had a legit chance to put some pressure on the Chiefs and possibly really get back in this game. And then Russell Wilson had the strangest series of plays I've ever seen in my entire life. First and goal from like the 7-yard line, going like the Chiefs 7-yard line. Play one, drops back, not a ton of pressure, throws it away. It's like, all right, first down. That's okay. We'll get him. I don't have any bet in this game, by the way. I'm just like watching this game, hoping for this game to get better because I've been watching it all night and it's been absolute dog shit. So I'm like, please just make this worth my time. So second down, Russell Wilson gets the ball, and it was a designed quarterback run from the 7-yard line with Russell Wilson. Goes absolutely nowhere, obviously. And then third down, drops back. There's a little bit more pressure, throws it away right away. It's like, okay, all right, fourth down, haven't gained a yard yet. Don't know what's going on. Fourth down, he literally threw it, hit a goalpost, and it wasn't even like he was trying to throw it. It was just throwaway. It's fourth down. What are we doing? And then he had a incredibly similar possession. Like, it was later in the game when they got the ball back, and it was completely like, it didn't, even if they scored, it wouldn't have done anything. But like, it's like, what is he being told to like, not like, are they trying to throw these games? Like, what in the hell is going on? My wife was watching with me, and she does not like football. She's like reading her book, and she could like hear me audibly be like, "Ugh, what is going on?" And she looked up and she saw a play. She's like, "What is this? What is he doing? Who is that guy?" Like, she knew that was not right. I couldn't believe what I was seeing, and I've seen some outrage on social media about it, but I haven't seen enough. There needs to be more. That was unbelievably bad. If Jackson Dart's not starting next game, I assume the Giants are trying to lose.
Well, the text of the night was when you texted the group, Nick, and you're like, "Does Russ playing with like a concussion? Like, what's he doing?"
That's what it seemed like, because
it looked
he just
so
like,
unnatural.
It was so weird.
And I mean, so he threw the ball away on that and goal possession, twice, at least twice,
three times.
At least two of those, one of them was in the stands. I mean, one of them was so violently thrown away that it was in the stands.
Dude,
the other
one was in the
like
stands and one hit the goalpost.
Literally hit the goalpost, like not even towards anyone. And Nick, he wasn't even like, was he under pressure? Sure, but he could have extended it or just thrown the ball up, and he just like fired it out. Like
the third down play, there was some decent pressure right off the bat.
Yeah.
But first down and fourth down, like, it was like a relatively standard amount of pressure. There was nothing crazy where he was going to die if he kept the ball in his hands. It was just like either the Giants trying to lose or this dude is so checked out he doesn't give a fuck what happens.
Yeah. Well, I was holding a big old Chiefs money line, and I was thrilled to see Russ just freaking out.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I had no dog in the fight. I refused to put a bet on the game. I was actually up pretty good from parlaying the Bears money line with the under, which actually worked out pretty nice for me.
Nice.
Got a little scary for a minute there, but a couple picks worked out for me.
Yeah.
So anyway, but honestly, that was like outside of the Bears game and the Packers game, my biggest takeaway is like, holy shit, Russell Wilson's been a joke for like 4 years now, but that was like another level. That was unbelievable. I've never seen anything like it.
Giants gonna giant. That definitely, and there were a couple of shots of him where it looked like you looked into his eyes, and I don't know if they were bloodshot or what. Like it looked like he was visibly not Russell Wilson, or at least what you would think Russell Wilson was circa Seattle Seahawks 2016 when he actually was calm under pressure. But yeah, I'd be very shocked. Dable even said in his interview today, he's straight up not committing to Russell Wilson anymore.
Really smart,
which
because he was bad.
should be.
Well, Dable's got to be on the hot seat too. I mean, he's just not doing anything
100%.
there. He's just not
Probably
doing
the hottest seat in the NFL, I think.
It's got to be.
Dable,
Yeah, and Miami guy.
Oh yeah, right. Our guy,
No.
Mike McDaniel. Yeah, he's gone. He gone.
But yeah. Well, not. I was about to say not to change the subject, but that's exactly what I'm going to do is change the subject. So that doesn't make sense to say that. But I wanted to call out to the Chargers and the Broncos. The Chargers are on an absolute high, 3-0 all division games too. So that's a hell of a way to start out the season.
Yeah.
And in losing to the Broncos 1-2. I know Nick and some other. I know you're not highest on the Broncos, but the Broncos have lost some pretty devastating games, some very close ones. Colts, obviously, last week that was a bizarre finish. Chargers are a good, maybe a great team, and they're looking fantastic.
Yeah.
But I think of all the 1-2 teams, I still like the Broncos. I still think that they can kind of make things work. But watch out, those Chargers who doesn't want to get off to a 3-0 start? But they look clean. They look good. Yeah. And Justin Herbert's looking, like Justin Herbert that people were thinking he could look like. So watch out there for the Chargers. I think, I know it's still early, but obviously Chiefs 1-2, Chargers 3-0. It's easier to say this. But, it's the Chiefs. And until the Chiefs are dethroned, it's still going to be the Chiefs. But it really is looking like this is going to be the year where the Chargers are going to win that AFC West, in my opinion. Really quick, I know we didn't have this in the script, but I do want to kind of get your opinion on that. Are we sounding the alarms if you're Chiefs? Is this the year that they're going to get dethroned, or is that jury's still out until you see it? You see it.
It was good for the Chiefs team and Chiefs fans to get off the schneid and win a game this week. I think that gets into a little bit more of their deeper season experience. Get this early season out of the way where we've had injury problems. Their defense is still good. They have weapons coming back for Patrick Mahomes. I think it'll be a rarity, and we touched on this in like the preview of the season, and our early picks is the Chiefs are always going to be the Chiefs, and they're until Andy Reid is gone, until Patrick Mahomes is gone. So you gotta dethrone the Kings in order to take over. But yes, the Chargers look great. Chargers look like a very well-oiled machine of a team, and if you can go and do that out at the beginning of the season, all against division teams, amazing for them. Great start to the season. But you're going to have to dethrone the Chiefs because you got them one more time this season. And I think Patrick Mahomes, he still is going to have something to say about this season, no matter what. I know that's not too descript, but no matter what, I'm not going to pick against the Chiefs. It's just more of like they're going to be there.
Yeah, long season.
Yeah.
I actually kind of disagree. I think the Chiefs are in trouble, and not necessarily in trouble of like missing the playoffs or anything. So I think we all agree the Chiefs are going to make the playoffs. The Bengals losing Joe Burrow kind of was like the Bengals were kind of like that last playout. Like there was like 7 deep like playoff teams. Although honestly, the Colts might be that team now because nobody had them listed, but I think the Chiefs are going to be fine. They're going to be like probably like the 4th or the 5th seed in the playoffs, or the 5th or the 6th seed in the playoffs, like one of the first 2 wild card spots. They'll be fine. But Jay, you said it when you were talking about the Chargers. Like you start your season 3-0 on 3 division wins, including one over the Chiefs. Obviously it has to be because you played. No, it doesn't. But anyway, to have half your division games off the books week 3 and you won all 3 of them, it's going to take an absolutely epic collapse to kind of like, I know it's 3 games in the season. That's hard to say, but you got to assume that they're playing against good teams. The Broncos are a good team. You think the Chiefs are a good team. Raiders, maybe not so much, but you win these 3 games, you got to assume that they're a pretty decent team themselves. So they're going to kind of keep winning at a reasonable, clip. So they're going to be hard to catch. Had 2-game or a 3-game lead in the division against the Chiefs is something. So,
Yeah,
just they're in trouble.
I think I've seen enough. No, go for it, Drew.
One quick thing is I was going to say, overall note is you can't win your season in the first quarter of the season, but you can certainly lose it. And there are a lot of teams that are being called out for losing it, or 0-3 starts, or shouldn't be. I think the Chiefs have caught the Chargers, the Eagles, and then they got a win back where they needed to. 2 losses at homes, that really hurts. But the Chargers really asserted themselves. They just got to keep it going. And so you can't win it in the first quarter of the season because you got a lot more football to play. But they certainly look gosh darn good.
Yeah, and I mean the Chargers. So I think I've seen enough from the Chargers to say I would be floored and shocked if they're not going to win the AFC West. In fact, after this pod, I'm going to take a look at what their live odds are to win the West. And if it's not astronomically bad, I'll do that. But like their schedule coming up is butt cheeks. Giants, Dolphins, Titans, Steelers, Jags, Raiders. You throw in a Commanders at home, Vikings, Steelers. But I mean that's and then they get back to the Eagles, Chiefs, and the Broncos. But I mean you got the Texans and the Cowboys too. So it's like there's a path for them to do some great things this season. And last thing too, I want to shout out Keenan Allen. He's looking like Keenan Allen this year, which is unbelievable. But I mean, he's a touchdown magnet, and he's got 3 of them, 19 catches, 194 yards through 3 weeks. So hats off to him.
And you're not just talking about his AC joints.
Yeah, Dracula's wings on his shoulders.
Work shoulders.
Good Lord.
Bears,
shocking.
Bears legend, Keenan Allen.
Bears legend, no doubt. But I don't know, Drew, do you want to take us through the injury rundown? Anything else that you wanted to touch on around the league?
Yeah, just a fantasy point for anybody who's still kind of looking for these sorts of things out there. Few touches. We touched Nick Bosa out for the season, which is really tough for the 49ers because it seems like they've got just a tough path this year of quarterback, tight end getting injured. Now their best pass rusher, you're just waiting for the inevitability of CMC going down at some point. Great team, just unfortunate circumstances there. James Conner somehow got a ankle injury, out for season. So Nick, I am hating you even more for the last minute betting that we had for Trey Benson in our Butt Buddy Fantasy League. But if you guys out there have Trey Benson on a wire somewhere, go get him. That guy is going to get fed the football over the next couple of weeks. Mr. One Eye himself, Najee Harris, is out for season with an ACL injury. Don't know how he can get that with the limited carries he's getting. CD's going to be – sorry, Jay, you were looking at me.
No, I just said old. He old.
Old. Yeah.
He's not that old, though. That's the crazy
thing. I know. You're right. As soon as I said that. But he runs old. Runs
even
slow.
For a running back, he's like 26.
Yeah. No, it's true.
Well, we were saying this earlier, and I hate to digress into something like Javonte Williams, 25, seems like an old running back. Like,
runs old.
That's the thing about running backs; they just get old so quick.
If a running back gets injured, I just assume they're washed.
Yeah,
it's always kind of how it goes. And
that is.
Yeah. CD's going to be one to watch over the coming weeks. That's a high ankle sprain for that guy. So you keep your eyes peeled on him. Tyrone Tracy hurt his shoulder. Not that anyone cares. Cam Scatterboo is the running back we all need out there in fantasy. Mike Evans is one to watch, I will say. Hammy injuries for that man at his age. It's getting tough, especially with young wide receivers in Ibuka. I know they have Sterling Shepard, but they've got Kate Otten out there. Baker's going to find people to throw to. One that I thought was going to be interesting for the remainder of the season is 2 Packers O-linemen. I believe it's right guard and left tackle, or it might be a reverse of that, right tackle and left guard, both out, maybe for season. And that's not going to help. That's not going to help their quarterback and not going to help Jordan Love going forward. And great to see from an NFC North contender out there. But yeah, just got to say, injuries are out there and they're going to happen every week. They're going to keep happening, and you're going to see a lot of IRs happen and pop up over the next couple of weeks. So keep live on your waiver wires, keep live on any of your betting structures, because those are going to have heavy influences out there.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then I think we're going to run into the podium list, right?
Yeah, I think so. So this week's podium list is brought to you by Cadence Kitchen. Hey, food lovers, looking for your next unforgettable dining experience? Then head down to Cadence Kitchen in downtown Downers Grove and tell them the BQ boy sent you. With a menu that changes seasonally, Cadence Kitchen is serving up locally sourced, fresh ingredients that'll have your taste buds dancing. And don't forget about the incredible cocktail list that Cadence offers too. Next time you're in Downers Grove or the surrounding area, do yourself a favor and check out Cadence Kitchen. You can make a reservation online at cadencekitchen.co and follow them on Instagram at cadencekitchen.co. Anyway, let's get into this podium list, boys. I was texting you guys earlier. This is a podium list that has really no relevance to the show this week. I typically try and make some kind of correlation between like what's happening in the world and the show, but this is a funny one, and I was just like had a great time all afternoon trying to think of answers for it. We're doing the podium list of funniest sports interview moments. I'm really looking forward to this conversation. I think we talked earlier, this can be like a simple one-liner that you remember. This can be a rant, like that's not like a radio station rant or whatever you want it to be. I'm sure we've heard of all of these. We're going to go in. So we're just going to go in and we're going to do our podium list. The order for our podium list this week is going to go in gold, Drew, Nick, Jay. And then in silver, it's going to go Nick, Jay, Drew. And then bronze, it's going to be Jay, Drew, Nick. So with all that said, Drew, I'm going to kick it over to you, and you're going to get us started with your gold pick for the podium list. Funniest sports interview moments.
Yeah, I had a hard time going against this one. I was looking deep into the Rolodex of interview moments and just trying to be like, how do I go against this? My 101, and I think it's got to be at least on your list. If it's not 101, is I'm going with Mike Gundy. I'm a man. I'm 40.
Yeah, God, so
come
good.
after me. I mean, that dude is synonymous. Like he will never live that down. He will never live the interview process. Oklahoma State. It was just a long explanation, and him just like, I don't even think he was asked a question in that. Going back and looking at that, I think he just started his interview out with, after a game or pre a game, it was just him talking about some form of report and a reporter talking about a player, and he just went in, and how you can't hear that sound clip in your mind playing over and over of, yes, I'm a man, I'm 40, come after me. This guy tries his ass off, everything like that. And this is pre-NIL, pre-anything, anything rewarding in college football. It still gets played to this day. So I have to take that. It's just amazing.
Yeah, that's a great pick. That's definitely one that made it into the groups like lexicon for a while. Like that's just like something that just gets said like without even thinking about the origin, anymore. It's just a funny thing that just gets brought up. I'd love that pick.
It's a pop culture gold moment.
It really is.
That might have gotten him more recognition than just like coaching successful teams.
No doubt about it.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't coached very many successful teams, and he's still at Oklahoma State. That's like 15 years ago or 20 years ago, whatever.
Yep.
Yeah. So, yeah, it makes sense. All right. I'm going to take, with my gold pick, I'm going to take an old classic. This is old internet stuff, like original YouTube stuff that I would come across. I want to say this happened in like 2000. It might have happened before this, but I feel like I saw it in like 2004. Maybe I rewatch it. It makes me laugh. I'm going to take Joe Namath with Susie Colbert.
Oh, yeah.
I want to kiss you. The direct quote is Susie Colbert asked him what he thought about the Jets struggling, and he said, I want to kiss you. I couldn't care less about them struggling. I want to kiss you.
Yeah.
Just blissed out of his mind. Just like you could feel the awkwardness from like through your TV or watching it on YouTube. Just an all-time internet like video. Anyway. Yeah, I'm happy to have that one. I love that one.
Nick, that was in my top 2 for sure. And every time I see that clip, you can smell the scotch through whatever you're viewing it from. You can, I want to. It wasn't a hey, I want to kiss you. I want to kiss you. You know?
Like whole bottle of Johnny Walker Blue down.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Seriously, he said it like 3 or 4 times. Like it was just so uncomfortable.
Oh God.
So good though.
That's gold.
Oh.
I want to kiss you. I'm going to take a swing, and the amount of YouTube clips I was watching prior to the show of Mike Tyson interview clips, it's hard to choose.
He was going to come up.
You just can't.
Yeah. It's hard to choose just one, but Nick, you were saying this too. It's like the things that make these quotes great is the pop culture references, but what makes it even better too is when it becomes part of your lexicon of texts 100%. And inside jokes and things like that. Yes. And Mike Tyson, after the fight, Jim Gray's interviewing him. Mike, I heard you might be injured before the fight. Can you tell us about that? And he goes, it's broke my back. Broke my back before this fight. And Jim's like, oh, what part of your back? Spinal. It's just like, all right, well. And then Jim Gray's trying to be professional. He's like, and he goes on some more rants, but I broke my back. Spinal. It's just too good. Oh, so I'm going with Mike Tyson there.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that one. Yeah, that one. I mean, I feel like I've heard you say that. Like I've heard you say that one a lot. Like that one is a good, but it is a classic. Like you can't go wrong. Honestly, any Mike Tyson quote probably.
You could probably do a podium list of Mike Tyson quotes.
We probably could have done it. Just Mike Tyson quotes. Yeah, you're 100% right.
You add his lisp to any quote, and it just magnifies the legend that he is of what he's said. And how you deliver that post a fight and just say, "Yeah, final, like done."
Oh, so good. Oh man. All right. Back to me. I am gonna take. I was debating this one because I feel like it kind of gets overplayed by me on this show in particular with the intro, but I'm not gonna take the Bears are who we thought they were
all time.
That's why we took the damn field. You want to crown them, crown their ass. I mean, you want to crown them, crown their ass is like one of my favorite quotes of all time of sports adjacent player, coach, whatever has ever made. It's just so fucking funny. And just like he hits the table and it's just furious. It's just the whole clip is awesome. So just the Denny Green after the Bears Cardinals game on Monday night where the Bears didn't score an offensive touchdown and came back. Just all time. Love that. Love that moment.
I also love the interviewer who asked a question is just like, very monotonely listing off stats of the game of how they lost, like 4 interceptions, 2 kick returns, and Danny Green's head is just exploding and he can't even get out the sentence. He's like, the Bears are who we thought they were. And just goes in the best rant of all time.
Anyway, so yeah.
And if you guys haven't watched that game back recently, or at least the highlights of it, do it.
That's because once a year.
That just gets you feeling good. Feeling good about what the Bears were or what they could be.
Nick, I think we were watching that in my dorm room in Marquette or one of our dorm rooms, right?
It was your room. Yeah, we were watching it in your room. And then we went around the streets of Milwaukee afterwards with just like being like we won the Super Bowl. Like, it was crazy. Like it was the feeling I'd never had before because It felt really good. I love that. It was great.
Hell yeah. Maybe that was the night we got Mike Malvito came in with the paddle. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah. That helped Mike Malvito. Jay, you're up.
All right, I'm going to take one of my all-time favorites as well. I'm going to throw it back to Jim Rome interviewing Jim Everett.
Yes.
Check that, Chris Everett. And then they just get into a damn brawl.
Oh my God!
Bet you won't call me that again. Bet you I will, Chris. And then he just jumps over the table right at him, and they get in a fucking brawl. So good. God, that was so good.
I bet I do, Chris.
Bet you I do, Chris. Just such a prick.
I'm so mad. I thought that was getting back to me, but a pinnacle of like, I don't know if he was doing that during. That wasn't Rome Will Burn. I think he was doing like
it was pre.
Like that might have been like early ESPN2 or whatever, like some show or something like that. It was early.
I guarantee you, not a lot of people were going to watch that, and now that was must see TV, and the amount of clips that is in. Listen, if you want to come off the station right now and talk to me on the side, we can do that. But if you call me this one more time, bet you I do. Chris, like, God.
If you say that to me one more time, we better take a station break.
Here you go. Yes.
That's what he kept saying. Oh, so good. Great pick.
So good. So good. I thought that was dropping to me, Jay. I was so excited.
All these picks, by the way, have been on my list, just so you guys know. Every pick that's been picked has been on my list.
They're gold.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if it might not be on both of your lists, but it is one that will make me laugh every single time. And God rest his soul. We're going to Craig Sager, and we're going to Kevin Garnett, and we're going to burn it. We're going to burn it. Like him interviewing Kevin Garnett after a game where he's in one of his funky suits, and Kevin Garnett just says to him, "Hold on a second. Like, did you buy this yourself? Okay. Well, what you need to do is you need to go home and take off all your clothes. You should be butt-ass naked. And you need to burn that. Burn it. The suit. That will make me laugh anytime I see it.
It's an all-time moment.
Good. So good.
All-time moment.
Am I on a back-to-back after that?
Jay's up.
I'm up. Okay. Yeah, I definitely had Burn It on the list, Drew. I mean, it's all-time. This is where there's so many good ones, and I feel bad because we're going to have to leave some of them off, and I don't even know where to go, but I'm going to stay in the NBA circle because I love Shaq, and one of my favorite quotes about talking in an interview, asked him about the Sacramento Kings in the playoff matchup, and he goes, "I ain't worried about no Sacramento Queens." I don't know why, but it gets me every time. I probably could have put some other ones up there, but the Sacramento Queens is like right in the Shaq era too, of just being an absolute legend.
I forgot about that one. That was not on my list, but that's awesome. I forgot about that one.
Shaq
can't do that today.
Yeah.
No.
Shaq was, people forget how dominant Shaq was in like the early 2000s and how much, I don't know, I personally hated Shaq in that period because I just thought it was not fair that he was so big and so strong and so good. But God, he was so dominant in that time frame. He was so good. And he could say whatever he wanted.
He could.
All right.
Anyway, Drew, now you're up.
Yeah. No, I'll finish it off. And I'm going back. I'm going back quite a while. I think it's maybe the 60s, maybe the 70s, but we're going to one quotable interview that I think I might say not every other week, but once a month. It reminds me of one of our friends and one of the friends that I saw this weekend of Brian Roth, but it is Howard Cosell telling Muhammad Ali to not touch him or he'll beat his brains out.
Yeah, Drew, that was.
I mean, talk about your all-time just, hey, you're gonna pick a fight against the best fighter in the world, and Howard Cosell and Muhammad Ali had their back and forth all time, but like nothing like sitting next to a guy that is the world heavyweight champ and you're
Greatest of all time.
5'8", but sorry,
No,
but
but yeah.
like you're 5'8", $160 soaking wet, and you're gonna tell him that you're gonna beat his brains in. Love it. Like, yeah, get me laughing every single time. Good one, Howard. You got this. You got this round.
Don't touch me, or I'll beat your brains out. Their relationship was so good too. The interviews that they had were so just legendarily good.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's good. Okay, I'm gonna round us out. So this is a weird one because I don't know how well known it is outside of like my high school group circle, but it's one that I knew I'd probably get it late, so I didn't take it early. But this is one that I've probably said and heard the most in my life, and it's a very, very random one. But I don't even know who this guy is who said it, but I've seen this clip a million times. So it's a hockey goalie for the Ducks, probably like 15, 20 years ago. His name was Ilya Bryzgalov. I don't know what the hell his name was, but he gets interviewed after a game, and he's got this really high-pitched, like squeaky voice, and he goes, "It's only a game. Why do you have to be mad?" And it's just like one of the funniest clips of all time. I've said that a million times, and it just makes me laugh every time. If you haven't seen it, just literally Google "It's only game. Why you have to be mad," and it'll come up. And it's only a 5-second clip, and he just says that, and it's just so funny because I feel like I can't do the voice justice. It's just like the words plus the voice is so fucking funny. And it's like, I don't know. And it's also a funny thing for a hockey player to say. It's only a game. Why? I don't know. Anyway, I love that quote. It's all time for me. So that's my last pick.
Yeah, I love him.
I don't know if you guys ever heard that one? Does that ring any bells?
I haven't, but I'm gonna go.
No, I haven't. I'm gonna look
you
it
gotta
up.
check it. Like I promise you, it's just, again, you'll be shocked by his voice. But anyway. All right,
Can I throw in a couple honorable mentions?
Yeah, let's do some honorable mentions. Let's do it.
Because I also had, I mean, and it's a classic, but Bart Scott's can't wait.
Yep.
Because of a nosebleed was great. And then one for the Marquette fans in the bunch too is Buzz had some great clips too. But the one that I'll watch probably once a year just for some shits and giggles is he just goes into this bizarre rant as he would always do. He's like, the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker. He somehow got that into an interview about nothing. It was great.
Buzz.
There's a couple others. Jay, one of our all-time favorite, and we're going into a completely different place of sports. Any Rampage Jackson interviews with women ever, you need to watch that dude. Like, there's got to be compilations on YouTube for that. Like, he's motorboated interview. Like,
yes,
women. He's humped their legs. He's just talked about like going back to his room with them. Like, Rampage, chill. We get it. You're a horny guy, but just chill it out, dude.
Out of control horniness.
It reminds me of the. I didn't even think about this one, but the other Mike Tyson quote.
Yes.
I don't normally talk to women unless I fornicate with them.
or the I'm a semi-decent husband. I'm a convicted rapist. I'm a semi-decent husband. Like, yeah.
I don't know if you guys are familiar with the old. I think this might have been like a bit, so that's why I didn't put it on here. But when I was like a teenager, I thought it was real, and it also just like made me laugh the first time I heard it. But do you guys remember? You guys ever watched a video of it's like an old recording of a show with Earl Weaver, the old Orioles manager? It's called Manager's Corner with Earl Weaver.
No.
Anyway, basically it's just an old like Earl Weaver was the manager of the Orioles in like the 70s, and he had these like it's like basically 3 minutes of him just going on these rants about his team. And I think it might have been a bit or something, but I'm not sure. But either way, it's real recording. It's really him saying it. But like one of the things he would say is like somebody asked him about like, do you think you need more team speed? And he goes, team speed for Christ's sake, little fleas running around the bases, getting caught stealing. We need those big cocksuckers that can hit the ball out of the ballpark. You can't make any damn mistake about that. It's like stuff like that is just fucking hilarious to me.
Oh man, the baseball in the 70s and 80s, just the unfiltered, just like, the fuck are you talking about?
Dude, just two more to touch on. Playoffs. I'm surprised none of you
yeah, great call.
Playoffs was a thought in mine. If you guys go back to another compilation, is Ron Artest / Meta World Peace.
Yep.
Whenever that guy got behind a microphone, that was must-see TV, because I don't know if he knows how to talk to anybody, but he just said some things that instant quotables.
Oh yeah. Bobby Knight too. I can't think of any
Bobby
specifically
Knight.
but I mean a Rolodex of quotes from him.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't even think about these, but Jim Calhoun used to have some unbelievable quotes back in the day at UConn.
Yes.
Also, one that me and my friends quote to each other often is it's a stupid little, but after a game when the Celtics were good in the late 2000s, the Hawks took them to 7 games, and Zaza Pachulia, if you remember that guy, got on the microphone, the PA system microphone in the stadium, and he just gets up. He's an Eastern European guy who goes to the whole crowd. He's like, "Game 7, never easy," and it's just that. Just we always say that to him. Anyway. So that's a good one. Also, you said playoffs. I forgot about this. When Jim Mora, same guy, it's like we couldn't do diddly do on offense.
Yeah.
It's all time. It's one of my favorites.
Dude, the other one, Dungy, and not Dungy. What's his name? Gosh, Jets coach. You play to win the game. Hello.
That was Herm. Yeah, Herm Edwards.
That was Herm.
Yeah. Hello.
Yeah.
There's so many damn good ones.
Yeah, like I said, we could go on for hours just talking about this. I was very excited to put this one down. I think that was well done. Good conversation, boys.
Yeah.
No doubt.
All right. Well, that's almost going to wrap us up. I'm going to kick it around the horn one last time. We're going to do our closing thoughts. So, Jason, what do you got for closing thoughts this week?
Yeah, closing thoughts, just what I've been watching. I touched on this earlier, but I kind of wanted to round up on the closing thoughts too. The Netflix documentary series about the Cowboys is absolutely electric. Shout out to Brian Roth again, second shout out of the show. So thanks for listening. But week 1 on Monday Night Football, we got together, watched that game, and Brian was talking about this documentary, and I'd never heard of it at the time. I've been absolutely glued to it. It is so much fun. All the interviews that they have with all these just legendary players, Jerry Jones, Jimmy Johnson, the list, Michael Irving, Emmitt Smith. It's really fun to kind of just walk through the dynasty and how insane it was, how transformative Jerry Jones was to the NFL and the modern NFL, bringing it to Fox and the deals that were made and how they were just gambling on stuff, and it hit. Is really, really entertaining. If you're a football fan, and I'm assuming if you're listening to this podcast, you probably are, definitely check it out if you haven't. It's totally worth it. It's very bingeable. I love it. So those are my closing thoughts. Can't get enough of the football stuff. That's a great documentary to watch if you're looking to burn some time.
100%. Jerry Jones gets a lot of shit for being a terrible general manager of the team that he owns, but he really has transformed the NFL with not only bring him to Fox, but he sued the NFL because back in the 80s and 90s, the NFL did its licensing deals as a whole, and the teams couldn't sign their own licensing deals. So they were just if the NFL was Coke, the whole league was Coke. And then Jerry Jones sued them so that they could get Pepsi in their stadium, and Pepsi paid him a shitload of money to do it. And just you might even view some of that stuff as the bad part of football, the over commercialization of it, but also it's what transformed the business from 80s and 90s was good, but now it's a $100 billion enterprise or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So he really did do he was a leader in that. So I agree with you. I love that documentary. It was so good.
Yeah.
And non-spoiler, obviously because it happened in history, but I completely forgot about the Michael Irvin law enforcement and his trouble with all of that. Dude could have gone to jail for 40 plus years.
For just, I mean,
completely forgot about all of that.
fucking dude wore a fur coat to court in the middle of July and fucking did Dallas. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Just anyway. Yeah, great call, Jay. That was a good, and I'll recommend it to anybody too. Like, if you haven't watched it, just check it out. It's awesome. You're gonna get hooked immediately.
Yeah.
I was telling a friend that Jerry Jones had some like really good lines in the first couple episodes that I'm pretty sure he paid a writer to come up with.
Yep.
They were like very like deep and profound. And I don't think he's got that in his bag.
No.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
No.
Anyway, Drew, closing thoughts.
Closing thoughts of the week are Nick and I, not to give you any discount, Jay, but Nick and I are very much cinephiles in our own right of watching movies. I actually was very much looking forward to a movie that recently came out as of the last 3-4 days. It was the movie Him, and watched it this morning and was extremely disappointed. I want to leave everybody their own reviews to it. I don't want to give any spoilers or anything, but it was something I was very much looking forward to because it had a lot of kind of similar. We're a football podcast. It was a football movie coming out. Marlon Wayans was in it. I like Marlon Wayans with what he's been doing in acting, and it had, which was the ultimate tease and the ultimate way to market this movie. It had Jordan Peele's name attached to it the entire time. And I don't think Jordan Peele had a say at all in this movie. He was just in the production, or he was a producer, and their production value. So if you were going into that thinking you were going to see a Jordan Peele movie, unfortunately, you weren't getting it. I would still watch it. If I was any of the fans out there, it still has some football connotations to it. It still has some horror connotations to it, but it was just a unfortunate letdown for this year. So in my review of it, I might post it later or something, or give you a little bit deeper of details without giving too many spoilers, but was really looking forward to that movie this year, and unfortunately it did let me down this morning.
Bummer.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I genuinely thought that Jordan Peele directed that movie.
Yeah. I did too, going into it, and then I looked it all up and I was like, what is going on here?
Makes a lot.
You had some similarities in like some of the vision and some
like
of
even
like,
just
what
like
they
the
were trying
single word title, right? Like that's kind of like his thing too. Just it was all there.
Yeah.
That's a bummer. I don't do scary movies. Too scary for me. I'm a big baby with movies. I don't like scary stuff. But anyway. My closing thoughts are, I didn't have a lot of closing thoughts coming into this, but you guys kind of jogged my memory of some stuff. I'm also going to recommend a TV show. I've been watching Peacemaker on HBO. I don't know if you guys watch it. I don't know, Drew, do you watch Peacemaker?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Every week.
I've been catching it every week, and I had some friends in town this weekend, so I didn't get a chance to watch Thursday's episode till last night. And this show is just awesome. Like, I mean, obviously, like James Gunn is running the DCU now, and I love James Gunn, but this show is just so good. I didn't really like John Cena a lot before this. I'm not a wrestling guy, and I also thought he was kind of like a fucking meathead, you know? He's awesome in this show. The whole cast is great. I love it. I can't wait till Thursday to watch it now. Like, I love this show. Like, after our podcast on Thursday, I'm probably going to stay up super late and watch it because I love that show. So yeah, if you're not in on the James Gunn DCU, like while you're on the kind of the ground floor, I'd say jump on in before it gets, too much stuff to catch up on. And if you're not in on Peacemaker yet, watch the first season, watch the second season. Also, watch the second Suicide Squad movie that James Gunn directed, because all of this, everything that James Gunn has touched on the DC side has been awesome, and I've loved watching it. And Superman is streaming on HBO now, and I can't wait to rewatch that. So
nice.
So shout out James Gunn, I guess, is my closing thought.
HBO Max is a heater right now.
Yeah.
Not to get too deep, but if you guys are going around HBO Max, watch The Pit. Watch The Pit. That's all I'm going to leave you with.
Very nice.
Oh, is that scary?
No, it's a hospital show.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm in then. Sounds good. Cool.
Yeah,
All right.
Margaret loves The Pit. Very graphic.
Oh, yeah. It's going to jerk your emotions everywhere.
Jerk your emotions everywhere.
I'll jerk your emotions.
Pretty common phrase. I've heard that a few times. Yeah, not something that was made up here. All right. Well, that with the jerking of emotions, that's going to do it for us here at Barely Qualified. For Drew Bailey and Jason Maxwell, I'm Nick Lavris, and we will catch you on the flip side. Good night.
Thank you for listening to the Barely Qualified podcast. Like, comment, subscribe for more on a bi-weekly basis.